Pressure makes diamonds are coal.
Gentlemen.
Diamonds are coal, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Pressure makes diamonds are coal.
Gentlemen.
Diamonds are coal, yeah. It's just two dudes being gents talking sports.
That's what I love about Wyatt. He can talk himself into anything.
Welcome in to episode 63 of Two Gents Talking Sports and Shit. I am here again with my compadre.
Be our guest. I don't know that whole song, so I probably shouldn't have started, but that's okay.
Put our magic to the test. I know a little bit of it, but would you really want to be a teapot? That's all I got to ask.
No.
They seem, like I said, they seem way too happy for being dead pieces of, especially like you get eaten off of. Like people be wiping their face and then putting napkins on you and shit. Anyway, okay, started off on the wrong thing. What we're calling this one is going to be our basketball playoff humdinger. We are going to bring you all the things we kind of think about the playoffs. We'll probably talk a little bit about that season kind of ending things too. I don't really want to get into awards and stuff like that because we don't have votes anyway, but we'll talk about the major ones here and there. But we're not going to go in too deep as far as like the 1 seed playing the 8 seed, the 2 seed playing the 7 seed, except Warriors Rockets. We'll go to that one. In the East, we're not going to go after Celtics and Magic. We're not going to really, we'll talk about it for a minute, but not go too deep into it. I wanted to start out real quick, though, just saying that the NBA is cyclical and it really revolves around itself quite a bit. And it has ever since I began watching it. And this is a really unique season because a lot of these teams are built around players that have experience and are like ready to go. And then some of the best like teams as far as athletes and young talent don't have that same experience. And a lot of times the younger buck has to knock off the older buck to figure out, you know, their place in the world. It was the same thing as the Warriors coming in and knocking off the Spurs back then when they made their first little run, Jordan knocking off Magic in his first finals. There's just a lot of times that's happened and we've seen it all the time. So I don't want to get too wrapped up, and I've decided that I'm going to be very objective about this, and I'm going to be very clear with my intentions as far as who I'm picking and who I'm talking about. And I also want to say that getting obsessed with the players and judging who's best and who's worst has turned into a thing where we're missing the basketball game.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. It's like, let's just talk about the players. Let's analyze what they're doing, coaching, matchups, you know, let's have fun.
Okay.
Not like, no. Calm down.
Right. He's always crying.
Always crying.
All right.
All right. Wake up, idiot.
So we're going to go a little bit of digress here and a little bit of pessimism to start. Because I just wanted to talk about these real quick, just because David Griffin got fired and things are kind of odd around the bottom of the league, just coming up to the offseason. So we're just going to talk real quick about the 5 castaway most hopeless teams. Just give it a quick little segment here and discuss those. And we don't have to have the same list or anything like that. We just did our research on our own and figured these out. Do you want to start? Who do you think is most hopeless?
Hopeless? The most?
Hello! Yeah. Anybody? The most hopeless case. Like, they are not getting the raft. They don't even make it back to the scene where he's got the beard and he's fishing and shit. They don't even make it to there.
I'm going to go with the Nets.
You're going to go with the Nets? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or the Suns, but I'm going to go with the Nets just because I'm pretty sure most of the United States doesn't know they exist. And yeah, so that's about it.
All right. That's your number one team?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. My number one team is going to be the Pelicans. And this is the whole Zion situation. You don't know when you get out of this business, and you can't right now. So you're like, you have to fire your general manager. You demand the next one keeps the coach, but they're going to want their own coach, and they're going to want to keep their job. This is a situation where they win too many games to get a great pick, and they try too hard to get a great pick. And I think it's really tough for anybody in these jobs, and I don't see them being relevant for the next 5 to 7 years. And even if they are, even if they get a little relevant, I think you almost have to like consider leaving New Orleans as a basketball town.
Maybe they go to Vegas.
Yeah, could be, or back to Seattle. Not
Seattle,
back, but to Seattle.
That'd be sweet.
They're adjusting that too. Yep.
Yeah. As far as the Nets, really
who
quick,
else you
yeah,
got?
they don't really have.
Okay, go ahead.
They just
Sorry.
don't have a lot of good decision makers on their team. They're probably led by, I'm sure D'Angelo Russell probably gets the most shots up. And
Or Cam Smith.
they have a younger Cameron Johnson, Cam Thompson,
Yeah, Cam Johnson.
Nick
or Cam
Claxton.
Yep.
Yeah, Tyrese
The
Martin.
only reason I don't have them is because they do have a ton of assets, though, because they got all those picks from Phoenix. They got all the picks from the Knicks.
Yeah, but they are terrible
and
at
they might not be
drafting.
able. They are. And we've talked about this. We've had this talk. I'm not
They're the
saying
worst ever. I'm pretty sure.
I'm just saying, like, if they got a GM who knew what he was doing for like 2 years, they have enough picks where they could grab a couple players. That's the thing about the draft is you can change it in maybe like 2. You know,
We'll see. You could also
I know I'm not.
you could also ruin keep the bad.
Well, they've
times
already
going.
ruined it in the last 20. So since Jason
They
gets
can only
left,
go
they've
up,
ruined it.
right? They can only go
Yeah.
up. All right, I'm with you.
Okay.
You want to go anymore?
Yeah, no, let's keep going. Who do you got? Who else do you got?
I got the Kings. It's the
the
Sacramento Kings.
Okay, I have them tied with the Suns. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, first of all, they traded away what's his tits? I mean, they got DeRozan and they got Monk
Oh, they traded away Fox.
and they got who else is there?
They got
they
Zach
got
LaVine.
Sabonis.
They have the Zach LaVine. They basically have
It was
the
LaVine,
Chicago number 2. Yeah, they have Chicago number 2 out in Sacramento. Is basically what they have there.
Yeah,
So,
they fired their coach mid-season, Mike
Yep.
Brown.
Yep. Brought in Doug Christie. Vlade Divac's picking players for him. It's like if Chris Webber came in and was like take control of merchandising, and then Mike Bibby can come in and like be their lead scout, and Peja Stojakovic can come in and like just give them all support. It'd be like the whole yeah. It's weird, dude.
They got Valanciunas over there. But yeah, I just don't think they have a whole lot going. And
No, I don't like them. I don't like it either.
they're like
They've
that
given up a
forgotten
lot to
team
get.
of California, you know.
Yep.
They got Lake Tahoe.
Yep.
That's good.
They're the capital of California. Funny enough.
Even worse.
All right. I have an interesting one that you might not think of. But this is there's 2 interesting ones to me. One is the Hornets. I have them actually as my second worst one. The Hornets, because I believe that LaMelo Ball is a pit of despair, and I do not think that he can be the face of your franchise. And even if you brought Cooper Flag, LaMelo Ball is still going to be popular because kids are just not. They're with entertainment, and I get it, but you know, you're going to try to attract new fans. He doesn't play winning basketball. I don't see that working out in any facet. He's too young. It's just, I think that'd be the worst place for Cooper Flag to go, honestly.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
I think it would be terrible for Cooper Flag to go there, but I think he would definitely try to make it work. But
He would, and there's no saying he couldn't. But
I mean, I got the Jazz, and that's about it.
I have the Jazz too.
The Utah Jazz.
I have a why do you think the Jazz? Because I have a really good reason for the Jazz not getting there.
You go.
Okay. Really think about Danny Ainge with the Celtics, okay? He was there from like 03 to like 19 or something like that.
Danny Ainge.
Yeah, he was the GM for the Celtics
GM,
from
okay.
03
to
like 19.
Boston. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I went back and looked at it. He only had 2 good draft picks. It was just Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He didn't draft any of the other players. Kevin Garnett wasn't his draft pick. Ray Allen wasn't his draft pick. Paul Pierce wasn't his draft pick.
Yep.
He drafted 2 good players. I looked at the whole history of it. Yeah, he had a couple other guys, Marcus Smarts and stuff like that, but they weren't like that.
Yeah.
And and
Jason Tatum and both those guys are still kind of questionable after all these years.
Well, you're in Utah. Okay. No one's going to come there as far as free agents. You have to nail the draft.
Yep.
And I don't think he can.
Yeah. They've tried to change their color schemes and their jerseys and yeah. I mean they have some sweet jerseys, but they drove Donovan Mitchell out of the freaking door.
They'd be better off taking the team out of New Orleans to Seattle and then moving the Utah Jazz to the New Orleans Jazz and then make them just play jazz and not play basketball.
At least
there's enough white boys. I know at least one of them plays the saxophone.
That would make more sense.
That would make way more sense.
Yeah,
that was
they don't have much of a roster there. All right.
That's 5. Nice.
What's that segment
Um,
called again?
It was just
Castaways?
our castaways, our hopeless teams
Hopeless
that don't make it to.
romantics.
They definitely don't make the raft.
Hopelessly romantic.
They don't have a chance to lose Wilson. All right, so let's talk matchups real quick. We found out that the Cavs are going to be playing the winner of Atlanta and the Heat. The Heat are taking care of them right now. I don't think the Heat have a chance in that. So, I'm not really super interested in that series. Thinking of the Celtics, they're playing the Magic. I don't see the Magic getting more than one game off of them. What do you think about those two series, if anything?
I could see the Magic getting maybe a couple, just because they can get hot and they can play some good perimeter defense, which Boston can
They play
as well.
great. They play great perimeter defense.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game of matchups and a little chess matches there. So the games within the game.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be a better matchup than a lot of people would have thought, maybe a month ago or two, maybe at least the beginning of the year or whatever, at the longest. So, yeah, I think they at least win two. I think they win two.
Okay, I think they maybe.
I don't think
one.
it's a gentleman's sweep.
All right, let's move on to the more interesting ones in the East early. We just heard Damian Lillard's coming back for Pacers and Bucks. That's important.
What time is it?
I think that if you have to rely on Kyle Kuzma or Bobby Portis to be your third guy, though, I don't think I can trust the Bucks. And I honestly think if the Pacers just put together 4 good games, I think the Pacers could actually sweep them. I don't think they will, but I think the Pacers could.
Yeah, it's just really hard to contain Giannis, especially with all the confidence he's built up over the past month or whatever it's been without Dame. So yeah, I just kind of depends on what Doc Rivers does. Does he just kind of do what's smart, or does he overthink it? You know what I mean? So
the thing to just, but I wonder if Dame comes back into this though, and you got guys that the Pacers are perfect to just pressure him 94 feet. It's he's going to be rusty. He hasn't played. There's a lot going on there that I don't think that's important. I just don't think that's big enough to overcome this Pacers team. This Pacers team, nobody watches them, but they lead the league in scoring. They score a lot. They've went on a couple of 15-3 runs this year where they just won a bunch of games. And
Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, Rick. That's
my boy.
That's
Ricky.
The thing.
Sorry.
The key for them is not doing stupid shit down the stretch. They always tend to lose games they should win.
Yeah, nobody on their team really averages a high clip of points, and that can be a problem. But
nobody averages a high clip
versatile.
of points. But I did go ahead and do this. They do have 7 double-digit scorers on their team.
Yeah, kind of
so. And I looked at all the teams to see how many every team had double-digit scorers. The Magic only have 3. So that's a
very
tough spot.
Top heavy. That's why they go on scoring droughts.
Yep, very top heavy. Yep. So who are you taking? Who are you taking that? We might as well just do our picks as we go through this. We know we got the 1 and the 2, and we're gonna go ahead and just Boston. You're gonna go Boston. Okay.
Boston,
well, we're
Cleveland.
taking Boston. Yeah, I'm taking Boston as far as that. Take Boston and Cleveland. Then we got Pacers and Bucks. Who are you taking? I'm taking Pacers in 6. I'll give Giannis 2.
Pacers win, man. That's gonna go. I'm gonna go Bucks in 7.
Bucks in 7. I think that's maybe the only way they can get it done.
Yeah.
And then finally in the East, we're gonna talk Pistons and Pistons and Knicks. And what's your take on this one?
Well, you got, when it comes to the game of matchups, you have a lot. The Knicks have a lot more abilities to make, more adjustments, attack from different spots on the court, different players, different matchups, and so they just have a lot more. They'll probably go on a lot less scoring droughts than the Pistons, unless, obviously Cade plays, MVP basketball versus the Knicks with he's averaging over 30, 12 and 7, only 2 turnovers versus the Knicks this season, and so it's just but I don't know how sustainable that is, especially because it's playoff basketball. So you're gonna game plan and try to execute and focus on the details that are gonna win you the game. Hopefully, and not just pride. You can't let pride get in the way and just say, yeah, Brunson guard him or Hart just guard him or whatever it is. It's like you got to really lock up on him, and then I think that slew of those 5 starters, and I think those guys probably going to get it done. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's going to be entertaining.
I think the Pistons
is going to win
like
2.
Okay. Yeah, I'd give them 1 or 2. I'm taking the Knicks.
I want them to win so bad, but I don't know if they can unless Cade is just 40, averaging 40.
Nope, it's not Cade. It's not Cade because that's impossible. It is going to be Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley shooting. If they can win this, it's going to be those two hitting like 5 threes each a game, something like that.
Yeah.
That's like what's going to have to be. That's the only way I see this happening. And I still don't see it happening because
Beasley averages over a point every contested 3-pointer he takes.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Like over a point. It's like almost 1.3.
Yeah, there was a thing on earlier this week I heard. I could source it later, but he was saying that his catch and shoot season is like Klay Thompson's best season, catching and shooting the ball. So that's awesome. The thing about that's going to be the key, but I think that the versatility of the Knicks is so high. I think with Cat and OG Anunoby, really, because after Brunson went out, he's played like an absolute stud. And if that happens, if he doesn't like slink into the background, because the hardest part with Jalen Brunson is slinking into the background and standing there watching him do what he does. I'm going to say for this one, because of the Pistons' lack of firepower, that they can't get it done. But that doesn't mean I really trust the Knicks. Honestly, I was talking to somebody earlier and I said, I can only think of one team that was really successful with a guy as small as that being your best player, and that was the Pistons. And that was because Isaiah really sacrificed, and it was in a different time. He could have scored 30 if he wanted to a game. He didn't. He sacrificed everything to do that. And Jalen Brunson, he doesn't sacrifice like that.
You have a similar skill set.
Allen Iverson, I can name tons of them. They don't get it. They're not your best player. They don't get you there.
Yep. No, I would love an upset.
Yeah.
I think the Jalen Brunson thing, if we can attack that matchup in general, I think the Pistons can have a lot of success. And the Knicks, maybe they'll break down a little bit. Who knows? They do play the most minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was going to say, Tom Thibodeau, he's going to play them probably 48 minutes a game, then have them mop the floor and clean up the trash in the arena.
Put the chairs away.
Yep.
Roll the score tables, scorekeepers table.
Go down and play jazz with the Utah Jazz.
Down in New Orleans. All in jazz.
They'll bring him to New York. He'll be like, I'm not going to make you go there. You got to, but you do have to walk to get there. Yep. So let's go. I got my pick. I'm sorry. I picked Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6.
Actually, man, the best bet on I wouldn't be surprised if it was Knicks in 4 or 5, though, honestly. I think they might just beat the shit out of them. It's going to be big for the Pistons. I think they're a little emotional. They're young, real young. This is a tough spot.
I know Cat won't get the calls.
No.
So he's going to say, oh, my God, a lot.
Yeah, but Brunson will. So that'll be good. I guess we'll move on to the West. Oklahoma City is going to play whoever comes out of the Mavericks. Hopefully it's the Mavericks so we can keep talking about how Nico might have been right about the Luka trade. It'd be so funny if the Lakers went down 0-1 to Minnesota and then the Mavs stole game 1. It would be like the show. Oh my God, the shows would be a shit.
It can happen.
Yeah, they would come out. And
it can happen.
Was he right? And then the Lakers would win 4-1 and the Mavs would lose 1-4. And we're like, oh no. Cool. But okay, so OKC's going to deal with that.
Over my skis there.
The crazy part about the other 3 matchups in the West is that any of them could be an upset as far as the seeds go. And that's what's interesting about it. So I guess we'll start 2-7 with the Rockets and Warriors. I just want your best case scenario for the Warriors to win this series.
Best case scenario for the Warriors to beat Houston is to obviously be hot from 3. Steph has to be hitting.
Yep.
and the role players have to just be able to basically just play defense. And the biggest way that they can also get generate a lot of extra offense is just kind of passive offense, is by running the sets that they run and just being successful. Maybe confusing the young Rocket perimeter defenders in a hostile environment, or just loud environments, things like that they're not maybe used to because they are young. Just catching them with like screening the screener action, and just getting a lot of confusion and miss rotations and just things like that. And
Steph has more playoff games under his belt than the entire Houston Rockets roster, just
combined. Yeah,
combined. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that if the Warriors can just like out chess play them, like outthink them and just out execute, I think, which they can. I don't see why they couldn't. I think that's going to be their way to beat them by getting those passive offensive points. Just off like sets and
off
things
a guile.
Like yeah, and Steph's got to hit. Draymond's got to do his thing. Kaminga's got to play. He's a little banged up, or he didn't. He was a scratch.
He just got sat. I don't think he's playing, dude. I don't know. That whole thing is weird to me. But Jimmy's got to still be Jimmy.
But I think the Rockets are going to win for some reason. I just think they're going to win. I don't know. I think they're just.
But like I said, this was just best case scenario. So in my opinion, best case scenario for the Warriors would be the Rockets don't know who the guy is at the end of the game in crunch time, and the Warriors are better at running half court offense during those times. There's no question about that. They have two guys who they know who they are, and that's important. Also, the refs could decide to go Dwayne Wade in the finals against the Mavs and give each of them like 15 free throws a game, and then we're in a situation where the Warriors are moving on regardless. So those are the two ways that I see it going. Let's go with the Rockets' best case scenario.
Rockets' best case scenario is continue to play really good, great team defense, because that's kind of that's their gift, is they're very long and athletic. So it's just going to be tricky because it's tricky because now it's going to get more confusing. Everybody levels up. Everybody's executing at a higher level on offense. Everybody's better at offense than they were, maybe when you played them prior.
Well, remember the three guys, besides the three guys though on the Warriors, not many of those guys have a lot of playoff experience either. You're asking guys like Moody. At some point, Moody's going to be like Sengun. You're going to have situations where, I think that they dominate athletically, they dominate the glass, and they run the Warriors off the court. I think the ceiling for this team, and also nobody believes in us. Ime Udoka is gonna push that all week.
He's a motivator. Yeah,
he's a motivator. He's gonna get these guys ready to play. And then I think they can frustrate Curry with Amin Thompson. I think Amin Thompson and Sengun will have to have like coming out parties. And Dylan Brooks gets annoying. And if he can manage his
more annoying than Draymond Green to me.
He's annoying. Him being annoying on this team isn't as bad as Memphis, though, because Memphis, I think he had a bigger role in Memphis.
Yeah.
And here, I just think he's one of the dudes, and I think that's important. I also think it's important that they've all been playing together the whole year, and they also, I think, hold on, let me see.
They have a ton of confidence also.
I think they also have 7 double-digit scorers.
They're like those dudes that are going out on Friday night just looking to like get into a bar fight or beat up like a dork or something. Like, hey, you little nerd.
Can I be on their side?
Yeah, I think that they have 7 double-digit scorers. The problem is like it's different than OKC. They've been playing together all year, just like OKC, but the difference is that they don't know who the guy is. So
yeah, I don't know who the guy is.
What's your pick?
I'm gonna go Houston.
Okay.
I think it's gonna go 7 though. Houston at 7.
Houston in 7.
What you got?
All right. I'm taking Houston in 6, and I think that this will be one of those where we're like, maybe they made the Jimmy Butler trade 1 year too late.
They could have, but he's already showing in the play-in, like playoff.
That was against the Grizzlies.
Playoff Jimmy. Hey, whoa! You almost hit me in my Jimmy.
They had 70-something points between them, and they barely got away with that one. So I don't know. It's tough. All right,
But it's
moving
good.
along.
It's good to see that he's picking it up though. Scoring.
Oh yeah, it was impressive. You know, he did get 20 free throw attempts or something like that. But Steph led him in rebounds. It's odd. It looks odd. Um, which one do you want to move on to next? You want to do Lakers,
Sure.
Minnesota?
Let's
All
go.
right, let's do Lakers, Minnesota. You go ahead. We'll just keep
LAL.
going on. Best case scenario. Best case scenario for the Lakers.
Best case scenario, their offense is humming. The three initiators are just picking on different matchups with the bigs. Because I mean Gobert, he's got to play, so he's definitely going to be involved in a lot of high ball screens. So he'll probably just be in drop coverage.
Mhm.
So they're going to have to hit their shots. So yeah, they're hitting their shots basically and working those matchups properly. I think that, and they have a lot of success with that. Then it's going to be I think it could be probably like 4-1, but even with Edwards hitting, because that's just easy offense. Just coming off of a screen, they're in drop coverage, or say they just want to get frisky with it and come out a little bit, then you just drop it off to your dunker, so
Right.
for an alley-oop, or you just kick it out because they got some shooters too.
They have a good squad.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just their offense is going and they're healthy. LeBron State can, make sure that growing is right. If he
Right.
goes down, it's going to be tough. Like it's going to be a lot tougher because he's a big rebounder for them as well. He's a big help defender down low. So yeah, but he's been doing a lot more, so it's kind of taking a toll on him. So we'll see.
Him and Luka combined for like 15 a game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Luka, just can lead the first team and just make good decisions, besides hitting the shots. But yeah. What about you?
My best case is that they force Minnesota to play small. I think that they got to try to get Gobert off the court because we say, like, what about the drop coverage with Gobert defending the lob? But what about defending against Gobert down there, too? They have nobody to really do that. Their best case is to try and get Minnesota to play small because if Minnesota is small, the Lakers are actually big. Minnesota's small ball is not as big as the Lakers' small ball. So it's only the center, which is like their problem. And he didn't play the only time that Luka and LeBron played Minnesota together. He didn't play. Gobert didn't.
No.
So I don't know how it's gonna look. We don't know how it's gonna look. I would assume that the three initiators will be, making decent decisions. But if they make good decisions, it's just gonna be tough to beat this team. You hope that the way I've watched the Lakers go is that the Lakers come out and Luka is always quick to start. He's like that spark plug that goes and goes. The most impressive game I saw was he went crazy against the Mavericks, and then LeBron just like finished the deal. He just like calmed it down at the end and finished the deal. And I think that if you let LeBron rest and just be like the fourth quarter, finish the fucking deal, we'll see a lot more.
That's kind of their relationship. Like Luka will come in and just be the wrecking ball and let's just get shit going. Let's just try things. Let's do this and let's push it and push it and push it.
Can be rowdy early in the game.
And if they're hitting though, it's like it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. It's like you get bum rushed.
It's like Steph. It's an avalanche.
I'm tired of getting the taste of them. I want the whole load.
Whether it's successful or not, guess what? Now you got LeBron coming in with the second team. He's gonna calm things down. And it's just kind of like a curve, change up. You know what I mean?
Right. A change up. That's perfect.
He throws the change ups and
Mike Conley's supposed to be on like Austin Reeves. I just don't know if they have enough guys to defend this. I don't know. So
yeah. Then Reeves, he can run the one or the two. So
let's go best case for the Wolves though. Let's go do best case scenario.
Like you said, Gobert is able to get some easy buckets or get to the foul line. He's he's not. Never mind. He's not a good free throw shooter. He got good form.
He just needs to stay on the court. He needs to stay on the court.
Yeah.
And not be a detriment.
Julius Randle, makes good decisions. I don't know if that's possible.
He has to exercise the demons.
Because he's got to realize.
In the playoff.
He's got to realize if he's getting doubled, it doesn't mean like, oh, now I'm going to beat the double team. No, it means kick or
make a good decision.
Like, what are we doing here? And then obviously they're going to need Edwards to hit. which he's been doing all season, and he loves the spotlight. He loves the big games, so he's always a problem. So I think whether the Lakers win or Minnesota wins, he's going to be he's going to be doing what he always does. So, but yeah, I don't know what else they got though. I don't know what else they can really who can be an X factor.
The best case scenario, Xavier McDaniel could be an X factor. They got Naz Reid could be an X factor.
Naz Reid is good at running.
Those guys could hit. Yeah, those guys could hit. 3 or 4 threes a game.
Not the best decision maker though.
No, of course not. Their biggest problem is that's the biggest problem is that their main key to winning is that the two guys that need to be the best decision makers are Anthony Edwards, which I'm okay with to a point, and Julius Randle, which I'm not okay with. But I will say, if Anthony Edwards goes into this thinking not only thinking he's the best player, but he also thinks he has the best team, I believe that he could put them on his back and put on a show, and they could steal this series. I don't think the Lakers win this quick. I don't. I think the Lakers win it in 7. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the Lakers in 7.
Yeah. I'll just go 6. Just to change.
And it's mainly because of the youth of Luka, because everything else be said, Minnesota does have a younger and better, more explosive team. And Luka's not explosive, but he just is he's the X factor as far as he can do things that no one on Minnesota can do, and he has the youth to keep up to a point,
Yeah, and he's only still getting comfortable and trying to figure out they're still as a team just trying to figure. And LeBron's health, the growing issue hasn't helped them really quite gel. So I just think it really relies on LeBron's health. They can.
So I got Lakers at 7. Who do you got?
I got Lakers in 6. Yeah.
Lakers in 6. Okay. All right. We're taking OKC, I assume. So the last one, my favorite one, a lot of people's favorite one. We're going to talk Nuggets and Clippers. We'll take the rest of this segment, I guess, to talk Nuggets and Clippers, and then move on from there. So Clippers, best case scenario.
Kawhi's healthy.
Okay. No, I don't think, you know what? Let's not even do that part because that's a no-brainer. All right. So, yep, for sure. What else? What else?
Yeah. I mean, they have some backup. They have some other guys there that have stepped up big time. I think Tyronn Lue has to coach really well, balance out, the coaching contest there, which I think he will because Denver they have an interim coach. So,
right.
I think
they have the coaching advantage for sure.
Yep. I think that's a great thing for them. I think James Harden understands his role, so he's not. I think he has a lot of opportunities to make bad decisions, but I think that he also understands his role, and so as long as he plays well and smart and doesn't try to do too much and play hero ball and whatnot, I think that'd be a really good thing for them. But yeah, I just think they just have to just execute, stay healthy. They got the coaching advantage. Let their defense show up and travel. They're on the road, the first 2 games. But
right.
Jokic is a problem. But
we'll go into the Nuggets for sure too.
Yeah.
So how I got it is Harden opens, Powell turns in a couple of 6 to 8 minute scoring salvos in a couple games, and Kawhi closes. And then Zubac proves he can hang around without getting into foul trouble, rebounds his ass off, and plays top level defense. That's what I think is the keys for them winning.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess our last team is the Nuggets to deal with. So we're going to deal with the best player in the world in this segment. What's the key? What do you think is the best case scenario for them?
I think Jokic has to he has to do pretty much all of it. I think Jamal Murray has to stay on the court and play both ways, hit his shots. But yeah, I just think they have to. Because, man, that's a tough
Jamal
matchup.
Murray has to go Jamal Murray to win this series.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray has to go Jamal Murray.
He has to really step up. I think Michael Porter Jr. can't be a liability.
Right.
And I think that Aaron Gordon has to continue to make great decisions and shoot well from beyond the 3.
And he has been.
So, yeah. So
Aaron Gordon's had an end of a season where it's insane, his shooting splits.
Yeah, they're just going to have to execute and really stick together, and they can get it done. They can beat the Clippers, but a lot of people, the Clippers are playing the best over the past, month and a half?
Yes. They're number one in offense, number one in defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a lot of people think they're the second best team in the West. So
I am going to go ahead and say that this comes more down to Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon than Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, because Porter Jr. Jamal Murray.
Porter could be a liability, but yeah, Braun is huge.
I think Braun and Gordon's, like, if they can just hit open shots and make things tough, back cuts and stuff like that, because they're both pretty damn athletic and big guys. I think that could be the key for the Nuggets to win. That being said, I'm taking the Clippers in. I'm going to take them in 6 games to win this series, and I believe Kawhi is just going to be too much, and I just feel like he's just hell to deal with. What do you got?
I'm going to take Denver in 6.
Okay.
I just think Jokic is. I think that Nurkic can definitely contain and neutralize and balance it out. Jokic with his scoring and his abilities, but I think Jokic is going to find a way, and I don't think that he really has an excuse. He's like, okay, we don't got our coach, but we're still playing. We're still here. We got to bond together, come together, and make this happen. I don't think he's going to go out. I don't think he's going to go out first round like that.
Maybe not, but
Clippers.
A cornered animal is dangerous. That's what he said. So what?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure his creepy uncle taught him that. He's like, listen, Nicola, listen.
I think they had different upbringings, him and Luka. I think Luka was always told that he was great, and Nicola was always told he was shitty, and that's why they play the way they do. So, all right. Well, let's take a break, and we'll be back. We're gonna go through some role players, and we're gonna go through some role players, and we're also gonna go through some decision makers for each team. So we're gonna go a little bit deeper, and then we'll talk MVP and just a few other things. This is our massive playoff blowout. So, we'll get a little deeper when we come back.